All right, so what's up? This is your boy Rasheem Kilo Pugh, and I'm here today with Miss Courtney Chavis.
Hello.
How you doing today?
I'm better that I'm here. Uh-oh.
Let me cut this phone off.
I got my two off. What?
Look, let me cut this thing off.
Yeah. No, I'm better now that I'm here. It's been a day. I was looking forward to this.
You looking forward to this?
I absolutely. Been looking forward to it
That's
since we
awesome.
started talking about it online.
That is awesome.
Yep.
So we got a book in front of us called Line Art, Lyrics, and Long Posts.
Yes, we do.
Tell everybody where this came
That's a lot, right? It's a tongue twister. Say
Right,
it twice.
right.
Say it fast.
LLL.
Say it fast. Right. So, line art, lyrics, and long posts is my way of expressing how art has helped my wellness.
Okay.
When I think about total wellness, I think about mind, body, spirit, soul. And this expression of my experiences through artwork and through lyrics and prose and creative, writing, that content, for me, I was like, it's not just for me. It shouldn't just be for me.
Right.
I think of the opportunity to share, not just the times that I think of when I was at my lowest. Somebody else might be at their lowest right now.
Right.
I might be good. I might be making it. I might be, keeping my head above water, putting one foot in front of the other. But what about the person who isn't?
Right.
So I find that somebody reached me, whether it was through a resource or referral or just sharing something. So that's my hope for even putting it into a space that's reproducible that I can pass along.
Nice.
Is that, it's helpful.
Now, you told me prior to this interview, you said something about your daughter, said something about your post. So tell the world about that.
So the title, though, is really me taking a shot back at my oldest daughter. Because I have the gift of gab. I got it from my mama.
Okay.
My mama Nim.
Mama knew.
Yeah, because it's not just her. My aunt, everybody, my grandmother. I used to be long-winded on social media, and I still kind of am. So my posts were too long for Facebook, is what my oldest daughter said. She was like, "Mom, you need to get a blog. This is too long."
So how long is a long
Nobody's
post? So
gonna read
that means you must have had like those
I mean,
posts
we
are
have
like
paragraphs.
they're like this big.
You gotta, if you're on your phone, you gotta be doing some of this to get through.
To take up the whole phone.
Look.
You can't even read it with one swipe. You got to swipe two or three times.
If you have to say read to the end, it's too long.
It's too long.
Right.
Okay,
So
got you.
Those are my posts. Because if it's, I'm just flowing. I'm flowing,
Right.
It's important. So she was like, you need a blog. Your posts are too long. And so long posts, these, I actually took a month, mental health awareness month, posted every day, my long posts. Some of them aren't as long. And again, it was a little bit of a, say something now, right?
Right.
But I took that content and put it also into the book. And there's a lot more than that, but that's a great part of the book that I'm proud of. It was content ready.
That's cool, yeah.
And I own it. Facebook doesn't own it.
Right.
Can I say Facebook?
Do you plan on making like a movie or a play or anything out of the book?
So a friend of mine who is a comedian, she's local. Can I say her name?
Yeah.
Okay, Rocky. So we have talked about maybe looking and seeing what if, what could we do? But not anything farther from that. I think pulling all of because there are sketches in here. There were things that I wanted to say. It is a true compilation of many works. And so getting it to this point felt like I was crossing a finish line. Just kind of like, whew, that was a big lift. Bringing pieces of me together, pieces of things that I've done from it,
So at the top it says connecting art and personal wellness. Tell us about that.
Sure. So even though you and I are, talking and I feel comfortable, I'm not always comfortable speaking, I've come a long way with public speaking, come a long way just being comfortable in my own skin and mind to say what I want to say. So for me, it's almost easier to draw how I feel. Stomach's growling. It's almost easier to draw how I feel, what I'm going through, what I want to say, than to say what I want to say.
Okay.
And I've been like that, like,
So
most
she's
of
an
my
artist
life.
too, y'all. She's
I'm an artist
by
too,
the way.
y'all.
Right.
So the first thing I drew, my uncle guided me. He showed me how to draw a little Volkswagen car, right?
Okay.
I was probably 3, 4 years old. I'll say 4, but I think I was probably 3. But from there, it was just like, oh, you can draw it. You know, oh, if people would say, oh, can you draw this for me? Yes, I could do that. But if you ask me to just sit down and just, do the dozens,
Right.
come, no, clam up.
That ain't it.
But that wasn't my flow. And it's still that way in many regards. So the artwork that's in here, when I went to counseling, and, a lot of counseling is conversational.
Okay.
Or, you're asked to, talk about your day, talk about what brought you there, And I remember telling my counselor, her name was Rachel, and I was just like, I could draw it for you better than I can say it. And she was like, so why not? Why not just every time you come in? And she was like, just bring me something.
Right.
Whatever is going on, bring a sketch.
Right.
Absolutely. So sometimes I would do that every day, not just, once a week. And, the day that I was, having an appointment, I would sit out in the lobby, get, my paper, pen of choice, and, pencil, and just draw it out. And then she would tell me about this, and I'd give it to her. So as I was doing that, I started to collect, all of those pieces, and I was like, well, I'll hold on to it. And then connecting that opportunity to express myself freely, to find more deeply kind of what was going on in my heart. I was just like, do other people do this? I asked her, and she was like, I've never had anybody else to do that, but it doesn't mean other people don't.
Right.
And so then she introduced me to a certain modality of therapy. She was like, why don't you just continue to draw as we use, it's called EMDR. And I know how your skills are. You'll put the EMDR at the bottom or the top or somewhere in the video maybe. But it's eye movement reprocessing into desensitization.
Wow.
And so it might sound like, say what?
What is that?
But at the time, I was actually working in mental health. I was working with a very seasoned clinician, and she gave a presentation on EMDR. And so I talked to my counselor about that, because every type of therapy is not for everybody.
Right.
And I was like, well, would EMDR help with some of my symptoms and what I'm going through? Because I was dealing with some trauma and some grief. And she was just like, we'll see if that's the right fit for you. So while we're doing these, art exchanges and getting to know each other, she then comes back later and says, yes, I think that EMDR would be a good fit for you. And so then once we started that, I would come back with collages. And I'd be like, this is what came up for me.
Okay.
These were my memories, or this is my reprocessing. This is where the trauma was. Maybe if you have pain scales, like when you go to the doctor, they're just like, what's your pain, rate your pain.
Yeah.
So if you think about a pain scale, highest amount of pain, basically 10. You're 10, and you about passed out, about to,
right.
So if you think about trauma, people talk about triggers and things like that. We went through and was like, what are the things that you most need to work on? What are those memories or, salient, really heartfelt, still to this day moments? So we made a list of those. And she was like, oh, tell me which ones are like a 9 or a 10 or above a 6. We made a list of those. And so prior to treatment, there were some instances in my life that I was still experiencing the thoughts and the feelings of those at like a 9. And then we would have our sessions, and I would do collages, and we would, EMDR involves some things that I'm not trained in. So anybody who is trained in EMDR can tell you kind of like the arc of it. But you're really working with that person to take a memory and change the impact to where you're not forgetting what happened, but your brain actually allows you to have less of the effect of that trauma.
Okay.
In today, in present day. And so went from like a 9 to a 1,
And that's
9
through
to
art.
a 0. I used art and
Okay.
therapy.
Okay.
So the connection for me, for art and personal wellness was that I don't know how far I would have gotten in my journey with wellness if I hadn't been able to express myself in this way.
Gotcha.
And that person didn't accommodate me or meet me where I was. Didn't force me to have to just be so linear and boxed in and just like, no, it has to be this way. No, she let me just do what I did. And so...
so let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When it comes to mental health, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a big, talk about it. There's a big
Right.
push for it.
Right.
What do you think is causing a lot of mental health today?
So everybody has mental health. Some people have, they're not well, right? So when I think about wellness and mental health, my mental health today is I feel a little bit fatigued and I'm grieving, and that's part of my mental health. But today, if I was feeling overwhelmed, hopeless, and I was just really depressed, that I just described for you kind of like a scale or a spectrum of mental health. So I think the push in the conversation sometimes takes the conversation into the most impacted parts of unwell, individuals. And then also the conversation about the diagnoses and the criteria and the things that we hear all the time. But it doesn't really just talk about the everyday everybody is dealing with their mental health and whether they're well or not. Mm-hmm. So the hyperfixation, I think, on some of the disorders, the mood disorders, I think takes away from the fact that, like I said, for me, I want to be mind, body, spirit, soul in a good place, well. And so mental health for me, I think about having purpose as part of my mental health. Being able to get a good night's sleep and be able to focus is part of my mental health. It's all connected. So the push to talk so much more about or fixate sometimes on the psychiatric part of mental health, the medications, breaks, hospitalizations, and things of that nature. I think we just need to have a more well-rounded conversation about mental health. Then it doesn't feel like it's a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Mental health encompasses all of it. If I have joy, that's part of my mental health too. Mm-hmm. And if I have a psychological disorder and a manifestation of those symptoms, that's also part of my mental health.
Mm. So it's kind of like also at the same time the reverse of the things, because you mentioned rest. Mm-hmm. You mentioned things like that, and if you don't get rest, it can affect your mental health.
All of those things, right? So menopause is, I'm really postmenopausal. Mm-hmm. And so when I think about the value of sleep to your longevity, and just think about my patience is different when I'm not getting enough sleep, right? Mm-hmm. So then if you just think about patience, think about being a kind person, think about being a person who is emotional, like your emotional intelligence, and you're able to kind of judge yourself around your mood. Sleep is has a direct effect on our mood. Mm-hmm. And our mood is a reflection of our mental health. So if I'm not eating, if I'm working and I look up every day at 2:00 and I've skipped breakfast and I've skipped lunch, we talk about hangry, right? What does hangry mean? What is it? So the labels and the things that we ascribe to how we just feel feelings are a representation of how well our bodies are doing. And so people that focus on kind of whole health, there's a Substance Abuse and Mental Health Authority, SAMHSA, and they talk about the 8 dimensions of wellness. And I was carrying that with me because part of my work that I was doing when I was introduced to EMDR was in promoting wellness in rural communities in North Carolina. Okay. And so I wanted to go in with some substance and to have good evidence-based information and to share that in the communities I was in. So SAMHSA talks about the 8 dimensions of wellness. And so one of those dimensions has to do with your ability to have purpose, right? So some of that might be spiritual or beliefs, but your connection to how you view yourself in the world is so important. And so they also talk about other things that people might, be like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But they talk about the mind-body connection. And more we're hearing, how studies have shown the impact of what happens in your life to what happens to your body and your mind. And so there are studies that talk about resilience. And
have you found your purpose?
Oh, I have so many, right? That's why we're here. That's why we're here, because I'm just like, even
so let's talk about your purpose. Let's go there.
So I believe I can be multi-purpose.
Okay.
Right. I shun the idea that a jack of all trades is a master of none, because I can't quote the rest of that, but I was introduced that you got to read the whole
paragraph, right?
Right. But all this time I've been shaming myself because I didn't have just one thing. No, I was never built to have just one thing.
Okay.
My people didn't build me that way.
All right.
I was sharing earlier before we started filming, like I came from women who always held down 3-4 jobs, right? And it wasn't just that for financial reasons, it's because they were good at the things that they did. So I believe that I'm supposed to share what I understand about myself and how I have become self-aware, and how that self-awareness for me is a way for me to live the fullest life that I can. Okay. And so for me, it's whether it is helping people to build their dreams. I'm very much a helper. Whether it's sharing my wisdom. So I have a gift of helps. I have giftings in wisdom. Okay. Because I'm a person, some people can take apart tools, take tools and take things apart, rebuild them. I'm like that with the heart. Okay. I believe, that I am able to be kind and compassionate, and I want to be curious enough to make sure that people are okay, not just curious enough to just do the cordial things and say, hey, how you doing? Have a good day. Right. No, I really want to know, how are you? I really want to know, how can I support you? I really want to know, if I can't help, let's find somebody that can. Right. So compassion, and then taking, just taking things face on. Not everybody wants to face life. I have not always wanted to face life. But I know what it's like to be the person who couldn't get out of bed. I know what it's like to be the person who didn't want to be here anymore. Just like, no. Why?
What pushes a person to that point?
I don't want other people to be at that point. So
let's talk about that point. What makes a person say?
What's the thing? Pause. Push the button.
What makes a person get there?
So I don't know about your followers and your audience, but I know that can be different for everybody, right? Okay. I know maybe some of us know somebody who knows somebody, or we know somebody who's been there, or we've been that person. And it's as individual as it is, Wanting to live is a very individual kind of space to be in. Not wanting to live is just as individual to me. Like, we have 8 billion people in the world right now, probably 8 billion perspectives, 9 billion perspectives on the heart. And for me, I lived through, dysfunction. And you know what's so interesting? Not making light of anybody's dysfunction or my own. The internet has given us the ability to know that we are not alone in the dysfunction.
Right.
Prior to that, it was much easier to really believe this is only me. Nobody else is going to understand. I'm weird. This is messed up.
Right.
Who can I talk to? I can't talk to nobody. Now it's just like we're talking about everything. And it almost takes it to a space where we can become desensitized to the fact that, this is hard, this is wrong.
Right.
And it is sometimes overwhelming. So for me, I knew I was depressed by the time I was 10 years old. I've always been a self-aware person. I've always been older. You just like, that's an old child. Like, she's been here before.
Right. Like they say, old soul.
Old soul.
Right.
Old soul, but because I was exposed to so much. And I know a lot of people can relate to that now. I didn't know that people could relate to that before. But I know people can relate to that now because I hear people talk about it.
Right.
Just in the sense of I was being kind of raised by my grandmother, my maternal grandmother at the time. My dad just passed in January. Did not have a deep relationship with my dad when I was growing up. We reconciled in my 20s. We're able to have a great relationship, a growth in our relationship from the time I was in my 20s to when he just passed. Okay. But earlier, when I look back, I won't say when you were a child because that's not accurate. When I look back at my childhood, I was like, how can anybody survive all of this? It was very broken. I did not have the presence of my mom consistently. She was addicted to substances before I was ever born. So that's part of why my grandma was raising us, because we had addiction, and abuse of substances is what we would call it today, but addiction. And so addiction, not seeing both of my parents. There were some other hardships that aren't necessarily my story to tell, but I was exposed to those. I started to talk about adverse childhood experiences. So they have come to really see in medicine that the more adversity you have as a child, the shorter your life expectancy. So we think sometimes it's like, okay, this is building me up. I'm strong, I'm hard, I'm built for this. What medicine would say is check that, because it may mean that you're going to be predisposed to more physical illnesses, heart disease, stroke, inflammation, just disorders in your systems, right? And so from stress, because cortisol kills, and when children grow up to adulthood and they have been exposed to sometimes repeated exposure to the same type of trauma or dysfunction or childhood experiences that were adverse, or an array of them. But what we find is that they present with, maybe they have been exposed to at-risk lifestyle, which exposed them to the byproducts of that. And that might be, maybe they were just, sexually active and they were exposed to STDs. Maybe they were stress eating and then they were exposed to, or not exposed to, they became obese. So think about how whole life perspective, the things that sometimes people think just make you stronger are actually killing you.
Right.
And so for me, a lot of those adverse childhoods, I have a high score, and maybe we can share the link to find out what's your ACE score. It's not just some random thing. It actually just kind of paints a picture. Was your one of your parents in prison or incarcerated? Did you see violence in your home? Were you able to have food every day.
Right.
You know, all of those things is just kind of like overcoming is one thing. We've overcome a lot of those things, but what price did our body pay
Right.
in the process? So the whole health and wellness hope for me is that, you know, we don't just think of it like we've earned these badges, that we take a look in, you know, and just
So
like,
what was
what's
the
the
answer?
So
What was the answer to yourself?
Yeah.
When you said, okay, you talked about being in that space. But what was the answer that made you say, you know what? Let me keep trying. Let me not give up on life. What was that?
There were different ones. So I would say when I was younger, it's a beautiful thing to have, you know, a sibling, right? So sometimes people's why has been their kids, older people later in life. So one of my whys was my brother that I grew up with. And so I was like, I'm his protector too. He needs me. And so, you know, having the will to be like, you know, I'm here and this sucks, but I'm not here by myself. And it doesn't just suck for me. It sucks for him. So a lot of people were like taking care of, you know, their younger brothers and sisters, you know, and I wasn't taking complete care of him, but I saw that as one of my responsibilities.
Gotcha.
To be there for my brother. And then as I got older.
Shout out to the brother.
Yeah. So he calls me C-Dub.
Okay.
I won't tell everybody my other nickname. I
Right,
don't
right,
feel
right.
like shade. But yeah, and he's free baby. So
Free baby.
yeah, so he was part of that. I think like I found interest. Art was an escape. So where you don't have purpose, sometimes you just escape.
Right.
You try to block it out. You try to just disassociate, right? So it's just like, let me give a shout out to God, because I was also scared to kill myself or die by suicide is what we say today.
Right.
Because I was like, I didn't want to go to hell, because that had been ingrained in me. Well, that is the most horrible thing you can ever do. If you do that, you're gonna go to hell.
Right.
So I was afraid. I knew that I wanted to stay around to be responsible, you know, for my brother, and then I escaped, you know. For me, television, boob tube, whatever. I was memorizing shows, watching things on repeat. I had, you know, a TV of my own in my room. When I went to school, because I didn't go to school a lot, I would come home, sleep, get up, watch TV. If I went to school, if I stayed home from school, I stayed and I watched the soap operas. I was being raised by my grandma.
Okay.
If we weren't at home, we were at the bowling alley. But I escaped. I escaped through sleep. So you think about people as just like, you know, they won't get up, they won't try. I have an image in here. Probably should have tagged some pages. I have an image in here, and it's basically like my 600-pound life. And
You were 600 pounds?
never.
Oh.
But in the weight of the world.
Right.
So just looking from the outside is just like, just do it.
Okay. Wow.
Not having the ability to express that in words, I could say, but my heartache, the things that I am hurting about, feels like I've got 600 pounds of weight on me. Right? My heart is heavy. My body's not heavy. My heart is heavy. My heart feels like it weighs 600 pounds. And so that makes it harder to get up and just do the things that everybody just get up and do. You know?
Right.
Being able to, you know, escape from me was not just TV and sleep. It was the creative, like I've been talking about. And unbeknownst to them, the people that were healthy in my life were being healthy, like by providing me with classes to go to. I used to go to Weaver Center for art camp. They would buy me pencils, crayons, sketchbooks, easels. I had a keyboard. We had a piano. I had, growing up, I went through all of the stages from 8-track to, what we have today to, a music app.
So I met you on an acting set.
Right. And that was, shout out to Kareem. No. Yes. Is that who?
No,
Austin.
it was
Yes, it was.
Kareem Austin.
Yeah.
He invited you to the set.
Yes, he did.
That was
He introduced us.
That was Jewel, Bloodline of the Jewel.
Was that Tamika?
Tamika, Allen, Brandon Bias.
So we were a couple.
Who?
Tell that part. We were supposed to be a couple.
We were supposed to be in a car right at the airport.
I was picking you up from the airport.
Yeah.
That was my role.
I got cut out.
That was.
Did you get cut out? I got cut out the movie.
We got cut out.
Did you see yourself in the movie? I didn't see myself. I was like, they cut us.
Why y'all do us like
Why
that?
y'all do that? Why y'all
We
do
were
that?
we were really good at our part.
Yeah, we played a whole little pick me up, hun.
It was just
and
like
they cut us
you
out
didn't answer the
movie.
phone. I was mad at you.
Oh, that's what it was? I didn't answer the phone?
You didn't answer the phone.
Wow, see, we can't
While
even
you
remember.
on your trip.
We can't even remember because we was cut out.
We were cut out.
See?
Give us this we just want to see it. Y'all still
Right,
have it.
give us the after cut, right?
Actor cut. But yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
that was something I never really dance, but I never really kind of dipped my toe into acting until to that day, really.
Are you gonna do
And-
some more acting?
Yeah, I've done some more.
You done some more?
I've been my brother that I was telling you helped me survive.
Evan. That was Evan's movie. Evan
Is that
Gibson.
who that was?
Bloodline of the Jewel.
We were at the parking deck.
Yep.
For our
That was
party.
Evan Gibson's movie. Go ahead.
What's up, Evan?
What
So
up, Evan?
my brother said I'm a video vixen. I was like, I'm not a video vixen.
So what was the next movie
all
you
my
read?
videos, I've just been shout out to my classmate actually from Smith High School, Kenny. Y'all know him as Mr. Rozzy.
Mr. Rozzy. Shout out
Yeah,
Mr. Rozzy.
Mr.
Yeah, I did a
Rozzy.
song with Rozzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love myself.
And shout out to
love
Shelby.
myself.
Because I know you
And
from Shelby too.
Yeah. We'll
Shelby
talk
J
about
in
her
the
maybe.
building.
We'll talk about her maybe. So, yeah. Just one creative to another. He was like, "Oh, we're filming. Why don't you come through?"
Right.
So I've done that, and just no speaking.
This was Rozzy's?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think
So you was in his video.
I think 3.
Okay,
I'm not
Rozzy.
counting.
Okay.
But I think it might be
Okay,
2
you
or
on the scene.
2 or 3. I need my IMDb like you.
right. Listen, I still can't figure out the purpose of my IMDb yet. I mean, I know that's
I
where
read your bio there.
that's where you put stuff up. See, I guess that was the purpose.
Yeah.
Because it's like $200-something a year, and I
Yeah,
just don't
I
even
didn't know
use
that.
it. I don't even use
Yeah,
it for
maybe
nothing.
not. I think other spaces give you that for
For free, right? Yeah, I'm just
Depending on
wasting
who you-
money, right? Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. I guess maybe if you can see how many clicks or views you get.
They keep saying you are a star, you have this much star power this month or something. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not there.
somebody got to explain that to us. What's going on with IMDb?
take
Tell
a
us how to
water.
use it. Tell us how to use that.
Pros and cons.
So right now, you're an author, and this is, where can they find the book?
Okay, so we will share the link. I'm a self-published author, and you can get my book through Square, and I will send it to you with some nice little touches.
All right,
Yeah,
that's what's up.
personalize it,
Is
sign it
mine?
for
This
you.
one mine?
You have multiple ones. I'm gonna hook you up with more than one.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll
okay.
sign it for you.
Oh, so
too.
we're going to have some giveaways on my other shows.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
giveaways.
cool. It is.
Yep,
Wow.
I'm really, this is.
So you're
they
an
talk about
artist, too?
baby. I am
Is
an
your
artist.
art anywhere we can find it or see
I
it?
haven't really been. So I'm wearing some of my art.
This here?
Yeah.
That's from what, a painting?
No, this is from a photograph.
So you took a photograph and then
took a
you
photograph
had
of
it
it.
made into an actual shirt. Oh, that's dope.
Yep,
Do you do any more?
printful. I do them by order. I've done some
Okay.
swimwear.
Okay, of your photograph. So photography is your thing more than painting?
I didn't talk about photography, but yes. How many photographs do you have on your phone? Let's compare.
1,300 maybe? Wait, I
What?
think, yeah, I got a
Hold
lot. I think it's something crazy.
Okay,
It's something, I know it was like, it's always telling me my phone is full, so.
Get your phone.
Do you know,
I have to
do you
buy
know how to
extra
find the
storage.
number? How do
Okay.
you find the number?
What do you have? A Samsung?
It's an iPhone.
Okay, so go.
54, what's that, 58,000, 53?
53,000.
Oh, see, yeah, I got 3,000. That's what it is. And see, that's all not photos, though. There's a lot of video. I probably got more videos than I have
probably
photos.
video. How many? So it says it's in
Wow.
items.
58,000.
53,000.
53,000 photos in her phone.
714
You must be
items.
paying for extra
And this
storage.
is an 11.
You must be paying for extra storage or something.
That's an 11. But I like capturing things. So, sometimes I will take a photo and then I'll paint it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hey, I feel sorry for you when you're trying to look for something in your phone.
pro tip, you can do search.
In what? I mean, on a photo? Like
On a photo.
But I'm saying you would have to have named the photo, right?
No, you don't. You just search for what you're looking for.
Like if you took pictures of roses, you say roses. And it'll just find
It'll
it?
pull up all the roses.
Based on the picture. Really?
Yeah.
That's a smart phone you got there.
Yeah, you got a smarter one because.
It's the 13.
There you go.
My son got a 17. I want a 17 because he said I could be on my bike because I'll be bike riding sometime. And I can show you the road and show you me at the same time. Yeah, I said that's dope.
I'm kicking and screaming. I do not want a new phone, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, you have to get it though. It's like having to get new laptops and computers because certain software don't even work with the old stuff.
Right.
So it's just one
Yeah,
of
I
those
can't even do an
things.
update.
Yeah, on your what? Your computer or your phone?
No, my phone I can't even.
Yeah, it's done. You're 11. You said it's 11. Yeah, it's done. Because that's 13, and
I
that's
should
getting
be
old.
ashamed, but I'm not because I think it is a crime to charge somebody
So what's this you're showing
$1,000
me
for a
here?
phone. So this is I mentioned the 8 dimensions of wellness earlier. So these are like physical, environmental, financial, occupational, social, emotional, spiritual, intellectual. Yeah.
The 8
So that
dimensions
is-
of wellness. Look,
8
let's
dimensions of
let's show the
wellness.
people that. I'm gonna have to try to show it close as possible. Let's see. Can y'all see that?
Maybe you can.
Can y'all see that?
You can search it. You'll find.
Wow.
I've been impressed. Like some doctors' offices have kind of recreated it.
Really?
Yeah, the intellectual property rights around this, I think they must be pretty loose because I've seen different iterations of it in different spaces too. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to reading this and deep dive into this.
Yeah, let me know what you think.
And I have to do a coverage on it. Have to talk about the book.
Talk about the book.
That's what we got to get back to reading. We got to read more, y'all.
So, I go by here, Courtney.
Okay.
But when I paint, my painting is Gone Painting.
It's called Gone Painting with
With
Courtney.
Yeah. So I know-
Explain that. Gone Painting.
You're
You want
an
it gone?
entrepreneur, so yes, me. So my dad and my mom both were fishermen, people. They both like to fish, and so if I was looking for my daddy, then my stepmom might be like, "Your daddy's gone fishing." If I was looking for my mom, everybody would be like, "Your mom was gone fishing." Now that might have been cold. She might not have been gone fishing. She might have been doing a few other things.
She was fishing.
Paula was
Different kind of fishing.
Different kind of fishing. So, but I at least when she was fishing, I know that was an outlet for her. That was a safe space. It was serene, calm. She would spend a whole day out there on the boat, because we grew up on a lake. But for me, I was like, okay, whatever my mom got out of this, whatever my dad got out of this from going fishing, I get that out of going painting.
Gotcha.
I started spending way too much money on going to paint parties.
Okay.
And so I would go like in Asheboro and Greensboro. I would go to other people's things and they would set up everything. Have you ever been to a
Painting?
You
You said painting or you
paint
talking
and
about?
sip.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I used to own a gallery in Jersey.
really?
I'm an art gallery owner. I used to be an owner of it.
So I started going to painting because it was that outlet for me.
Okay.
And then I was just like, how do people afford to do this? I had colleagues and friends, they would like go all the time. I'm like, I don't have $50 to go, $65 to go do this all the time. And so I was like, but it's so helpful. And so I wanted to make it accessible.
Okay.
And so right before 2020, I started Gone Painting. And so that was my way of kind of honoring my mom. My mom passed. Even though, she dealt with substance use disorders and was undiagnosed, she didn't die from addiction. She died from cancer. And so she was clean and sober the last 8 years of her life.
Okay.
And she went fishing some during that time as well.
She went gone fishing.
Yeah, so in a way, it was like a
Okay.
tribute to my mom.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, Gone Painting.
So do you have any paintings?
I do have some paintings. I'm actually going to pick up a really
Are you ever
one of
going
the
to do like a
largest
paint
ones.
thing where you just display your art?
An exhibit or I don't know. I haven't thought a lot about it.
You should probably put it
Like
on
in
your
passing.
to-do list one day.
Will you have another art gallery
Just-
here, and then I'll
just
come and
look
put
like-
mine? See how that works?
Just something that I think it's something about that. I never did one with the public yet, where all my art is on the wall and I invite the public. I actually did a 3D scan art gallery. So if I send you the link, you could click on it and scan through.
See the whole.
Yeah, I did it at the artist block. And I had art. I'll send you a link. It's old now. A lot of them paintings gone. But just the experience was everybody could do it from home. Click in there, walk in it, look in it, and pick what they like and say, hey, I want this.
Yeah.
And they could buy it.
What is that experience like when you sell a piece of art for you?
That's a good feeling. It's two parts for me. One part is taking something that's nothing and turning it into something.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
And then people appreciating it. And they're like, I did this one live and I was doing a flower and I was on TikTok live.
Okay.
And my boy Maurice was on it. He was like, I just be jamming. I try not to think when I'm doing art. When I think, I criticize myself, I slow down, and I wind up stopping at some point. So I have to take my mind into a I don't care space, do what I want to do, vibe, have fun, and just enjoy it. Don't think so much. And one thing I learned about painting is if I go like this and I don't like it, just go like that.
By the way, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's-
And you just keep going until you get to some place where you're like, I like this, or it's shaping into something that you can create something from. So I enjoy that. But I really appreciate that value is man-made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is.
So if somebody says, I don't really like this piece, but I know you made it, so I want it. I like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, that's
Yeah.
like the book I told you about that I got coming out. You know what I mean? It's really about that, like buying value.
Right.
Buying value.
Yeah.
Even if it ain't the best looking, because some of those old pieces aren't the best looking pieces.
So how do you gauge like what's the best looking piece to you? Like, because I've had people to really judge themselves harshly on their art, and I can't move that for somebody else. It's just like what you like, what you are trying to achieve, you're trying to achieve.
Right.
But do you have a way where you're just like, okay, yeah, that's nobody's gonna ever see that, versus I can't wait to show.
Well, that's getting in your own way. I don't do that no
Right,
more.
okay.
I used to do it.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't do that no more.
Right.
Now I just show everything.
Right.
And if they like something, they like it. Because you know what? There's a documentary.
value.
There's a documentary I'm working on, right? With the artist Larry Poncho Brown, famous African American artist. And the documentary is called The Golden Age of African American Art. And we traveled from, let's say we went to DC, Maryland, we went all the way to Cali, went to Georgia, we went different places. We interviewed 30 different artists from this time period. And one thing I noticed, it was always a piece that was like, wow. But then it was every artist had a piece where I was like, oh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody had it. It was like,
Right.
that's the bomb, that's amazing, how did you do that? To,
Okay.
all right, I don't like that one. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I saw that,
Right.
it taught me a story. Basically, you're not going to love everything
Right.
from a person. Just love what you love.
Love
All
what
the
you
rest,
love.
leave it alone.
Love what you love.
You know what I mean?
So here's the thing. What about like, because I have probably in my little suitcase over here, I keep like the sketches for the art, and I keep the drafts for things that I write too, because like I see value in all of that.
Right.
Sometimes I might like not want somebody else to see it, but I want to keep it.
Right.
Do you find yourself like that there's something you're like, no, I have to keep that, that's mine? Or do you find yourself just kind of keeping everything?
Well, I keep it, at this point, I keep it for my kids.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
certain things, because I already know you ain't taking nothing with you when you go out here, you know. And you know, when you get to the 50 at the top of the hill, I'm going on the other side now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Count it
now
up,
it's
now
like,
count it down.
yeah.
Right.
So now I figure like if I write a book and I have the first draft and I push the book out and it sells however many copies, 5,000, 10,000, whatever, the first draft is the most valuable. So that goes to the kids.
Yep.
Sell that when you want.
Right.
You know, it's just like convert it to the dollars whenever you want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and that's one of the reasons why I'm into antiques and I'm into collectibles, because I'm creating my own collectibles. And that's what these things are.
And to have the wherewithal, that's foresight, right? And that's
And it's chess.
self-control. That's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to this person talk about real estate, and I guess there's maybe a story of a person who sold his land, but he had diamonds, right? But he was selling his land because he didn't see the value.
Right.
He couldn't see it was underneath.
Wow.
Right. And that part for me is just like get counsel. Have people help you to also, because you just might not understand the game, you might not understand life enough, you haven't lived long enough, you just don't see what somebody else might see. You're looking at it from a different angle. And I was just like, yeah, that's true. So one of my art instructors, he was saying he had a rule that about, because he just had too much stuff, and his wife was just like, you got too much stuff now. We just, you know. And he said, so what he would do, he would give himself a time frame, and then he would let it go.
Okay.
So it was not necessarily all the things that he, you know, this is I'm gonna give this a time frame and let it go. I'm sure he had a, you know, these are for the kids. But for things that he was just free flowing, creative, and didn't really have a destination for, he would let them go. And so oftentimes he would gift things. That's what he was teaching us. And he was just like, it's to be shared.
Right.
You know?
I do that with my art.
Yeah.
Like I'll just come on and be like,
whenever you get ready to give away some more stuff,
right. Because
like,
I felt, because even when we traveled interviewing the different artists, and I would meet the artists and I would say, oh snap, this is the artist that made that piece. I saw that piece over there at my friend's mom's house. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I saw that as a refrigerator magnet. Or I saw that. Now, that was a different time where people were buying art a lot. And I think when you think about a lot of the collectible art that's very super, super rare, you'll find it in houses of people who they didn't even buy it. They'll say, my grandmother had this. Wow. My grandfather had this. It becomes
like an heirloom.
This Picasso,
asset.
Or this Ramir Bearden, this old piece that I have that's now worth $1 million. I didn't buy this. They did.
It was
so
wealth that was
it was passed down. Yeah. So that's why for me, like I know value is man-made, and I know that art sells more now based on who did the art, the time period, what materials was used, and who was that person? What impact did that person have? So now my job is to create myself as this songwriter, this filmmaker, this, that, and I gift my people, here, take that, hold on to that, hold on to this, hold on to that. So then now when I'm either gone or I'm at this level, that same piece that I gave you for free, that's sitting in your house probably in the corner, because you couldn't, it was too big for the wall, or you just ain't know what to do with it, it's $1 million sitting there.
There it is. And you
Now take care of your
give it-
family with that,
There
you
you
know?
go.
You know, go find those doggone museums and
Right.
tell them what piece you have,
Right.
and boom.
So, can I get a piece? No, just,
Absolutely, I got you. I mean, because
Look,
I have certain
all the
pieces.
girls, I just hooked y'all up.
Look.
Thank you.
Because I try to have a few pieces that I hold on to
Yeah.
for shows, like if I'm doing a show. But I can't never have all them pieces in the house. It's too much. It's too
Well,
much. They
I'll
gotta go.
give you one too. There we go.
There you go. There it
There we
is.
I woke up in the middle of the night one night. I don't know what channel the TV was on. Don't leave your TVs on. It's not good for you. But there was a person, and I think I wrote about it in one of the intros to some lyrics that are in here too, because it's the artwork and the wellness. And then there's also like lyrics that I've written over the years. Some of them, not all.
Song lyrics or poetry? Song or poetry?
lyrics.
Songs. So you
Yeah.
write songs.
Yeah, I have a video.
Okay, so all right, y'all see this right? Songwriter, all right, author, visual
Look, I guess
artist.
I have to be a rapper because it's a
visual artist. She makes clothes. You see that, right?
What else?
Health
can I
and
do?
wellness.
And my sweet potato pie. What?
So you'll cook too.
Yeah.
So your pies,
I've only
your
sold
pies are
those
good.
like a couple of Thanksgivings. That was too
Your
much.
pies are good.
Oh yeah.
So why?
That's the Chavis recipe.
So why wouldn't you package it and put it out there?
Patty, you know, we all have ancestors. So
Mm-hmm.
Patty's ancestors, you know, and she's passing hers down. So the Chavis women have a really great sweet potato pie recipe.
My mom got one too. My mom and my grandma, they got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
So,
mom got one. She
it's really
gave it to
good.
me. I told her I had to call her back recently and say, "Mom, I need that recipe again because I forgot."
Yeah. Yeah.
You can come in. The door is open.
Come on in.
So,
You're so funny.
but so why? What's up with the pies?
So the sweet potato pies are wonderful. I just haven't really felt like I wanted to, you know, sell
Put them out there.
I've done like if friends are just like, yeah, will you make me one? And I'll pay you. Thank you. If friends want me to make them one, I'll make them one. If they want to pay for it, I'll take the donation. But really not like something I'm motivated to do.
Okay.
You know,
Let me
but,
tell you something. Now that's something I found out the hard way. Is when you do something, you must commit.
Right.
Because if you make a good pie and you give a few people a piece and they love it,
Right.
they coming for these pies.
Right. So teach a man to make a sweet potato pie, and he'll eat the rest of his life. I've been giving away the Chavis family recipe, and I'm
Wow.
just like we're not gonna be here for
Right.
forever.
Not
So
gonna be
I
here.
have taught a couple people in my family, you know, the younger cooks, and a few of my friends how to make that pie. Because then I don't have to show it with it.
Well, I would like to have a slice of this pie.
I got you. Now, what I'm working on is the vegan.
A
take
vegan
on it.
version?
Yeah.
Really?
It's a little more daunting to get that.
Okay.
If you don't have the egg and that the cream, it's a little bit
Now, see,
It's
in
different.
my family, right? Because we Muslim,
okay.
so we make bean pies.
Oh, and yes,
And we, listen, squash pie? You ever have a squash?
No.
Listen, listen, world.
Look, I'm sorry,
World.
that was instant shade.
Listen to me, world, okay? If you never had a squash pie, it will compete with a sweet potato.
No way.
I'm trying
kind
to
of squash
tell
you
you,
eat?
butternut
Oh.
squash pie
Okay.
will compete with a sweet potato
My
pie
brain was
when
on
done
some
right.
yellow and green zucchini kind of.
Yeah, when it's done right. Ooh.
So even in like the bean pie,
Uh-huh.
kind of makes me think of like chess pie, right? Is that I don't know if
Chess?
chess pie.
I never had chess pie.
It's almost like have you ever had like a pecan pie?
I never had a pecan pie.
Okay, we're gonna talk about it later. But the bean pie, the chess pie, the filling of what goes into the pecan pie, the custard, they're kind of on the same line. So
Okay, so
But
we're bringing it back
do
to
that
you.
with the vegan.
So let's bring it back to you because pies is something you're not doing. So we don't need to talk about that. I just when
we
you
won't.
make the next one, I just want to taste one.
I got you.
All right, so tell the people give them something that out of all your years and all your learning, all your training and things, the young girl that's at home right now,
Okay.
like you were years ago, what would you tell her today?
Oh, wow. So I think the more counsel you have from wise people, safe people, trustworthy people, the better off that your life will be. I know that sometimes we put all of our eggs in one basket, and it is not to say that we don't respect our elders, regard them, love them, lay down our lives for them, but sometimes we need different angles. You know, you talk about people who have traveled, who are reading, different authors, different listening to different genres of music. You need an array of input from wise people from different walks of life.
Right.
So I would say to myself, share what's going on with you, not once. Share what's going on with you more than once. Because what somebody else might share with you might give you one thing that will help, but what somebody else, another person might share with you might give you two things. So sometimes we can, just miss opportunities because we're not open-minded. And we're being safe. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to disrespect nobody. I can remember thinking, I can't deal with all this until everybody is dead because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. They're not going to know how to take some of the things that I want to share.
Right.
I was basically, little me was saying, oh, this is just going, you're going to have to get through this, or not.
Right.
But I exposed myself to, learning about different things, people who were also survivors, and I changed my mind about stuff. I did not, there are people who have given me, their wisdom, but it wasn't for my life. It wasn't for my needs. It didn't reach what I needed. And so I just needed to hear from more people how to, achieve my best self.
Right.
When I think about people who, have sown into me, a lot of times it was people in my family, but also my best friend's family. The coaches that I was around in cheerleading, some of the teachers I was around, and they didn't always look like me. They didn't always believe the same faith that I believed. I, wanted to be free. I think when you asked me earlier kind of what saved me, I think at the lowest I was ever, there was still something left. And I still wanted to live.
Right.
Right? And I think that inner strength, is not for somebody to judge themselves and just be like, Courtney, that's not even a blip. But it's just like, because when we start talking about people being weak or strong, I always am very careful. I consider most rooms that I'm intentional. I want to consider the room every time I'm in a room.
Right.
Whoever I'm talking to, I may be strumming their pain with my fingers, right? And they haven't said anything.
Right.
They're just sitting there with a mask on and a straight face, but I'm in their wheelhouse. So for me, I don't really get into weak and strong because somebody may be taking that back to heart and thinking, well, I'm a weak person. I don't play one-ups where it's just like, you think that was bad. Well, let me tell you what happened over here at 305 or 2,
Right.
I don't do the one-up game.
Right.
What hurts you, hurts you.
Right.
But I think I've always wanted to not have the bad that was happening in my life or anybody have the bad that was happening in their life. I've always wanted to live. I've always wanted to, who's the song where it's just like, if I could, I would change the world. But, and for me, it's just like, finding that will over and over and over again. And sometimes, if I was talking to myself, I would just say, it is true that you'll be looking back at this like, wow, I got through that. But you'll do that over and over again.
Right.
You know, whatever the hardships are, not to just place your stake at the place of a mistake. Not to just like, this is it for me.
Right.
This is how we're gonna roll. No, lift it up and be like, okay, that's a learning opportunity.
Right.
Knowing that how amazing it is just to be able to see that somebody needed your light, needed the odd, disconnected happenings of your life, was just like you were, there play by play for their life too. And being able to still be around to give hope. And
So it's like envisioning yourself on the other side.
envision yourself on the other side. Wait. Also, sometimes, and I don't know the science or, statistics or anything, but I've heard people say, your breakthrough is just right on the other side.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That's
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's like, that's rude. Because it's just
Right.
you keep on wanting me to just, bear it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, it's not that you have to just kind of hold your breath and live for a breakthrough. It's just like, do something. Do something, and then keep on doing something. And then you look back and like, I did a whole lot of other things.
Right.
And maybe it wasn't, exactly, what I was heartsick for. Maybe I didn't connect with my dad as many times as we possibly could have, but it was something.
Right.
Maybe, you want to be married, or maybe you want to have kids, or maybe you have a bad diagnosis, right? So those things are valid. Those things are whatever they are to you, but in the sense of, I'm still here. What can I continue while I'm still here with what I have? And sometimes you might be like, it ain't much,
Are you
my
happy
health is
now?
gone. I'm mostly happy.
Okay.
I get a little heartsick because at my core, I am such a hippy dippy person. I am such a kumbaya. I'm such a, man, why are we dealing with all of this when we could just take care of each other well, treat each other right, be decent to each other, live and let live, as long as ain't nobody, crossing the line, do the things that work the most for the most people. And just, our world is a wonderful opportunity.
Right.
And we screw it up. And then actually understand where the screw up comes from too, right? So in the compassion that I have, in the ability to empathize with people as much as I can, just to if you've been through bad things, if you have the opportunity to really educate people and teach people why? Because people have stuff so twisted up. People have just decided, maybe, prejudices or, stereotypes or whatever, that the reason you do this is because of this. And why? Because they look at themselves.
Right.
They look at themselves for the answer. They look at whomever is closest to their heart or that they respect for their model, and they don't understand you. So sometimes people throw away, people because they just don't understand them, or they get into these, arguments and things. Like, I'll give a practical example. Somebody who may be homeless, right? You will have people that will look at that one homeless person from their lived experience. But unless that is their, even if that's their brother, they might not still understand exactly why that brother is homeless.
Right.
Right? But you want to offer them your advice, you want to offer them your solutions, and then you feel like, well, if that didn't work, then I don't know what's going to work because it worked for me. And then we can be really biased that way. We can be really, kind of full of ourselves in that way. But if you will let people inform the solution, sometimes you'll get a better outcome. So for me, informing my counselor, we gon' I'm gonna talk to myself, and I'm gonna figure out my solution for myself, and I'm gonna stop coming to these appointments, and I'm gonna figure out Courtney's way to wellness.
Right.
If I have to talk to you, because I don't want to talk through my pain. But because she met me where I was and said, "Will you help me understand you? Because my ultimate goal is for you to have some freedom, some relief. You're in a hard place." Okay, I'm gonna draw it. And that might sound odd, but if you just don't allow design to work the way the design works and to meet people where they are and get to the heart of the matter, you're just throwing your solutions on people that it may not really work for. So somebody just throwing their therapy training from a university and then other, teachings that they gleaned from, being able to learn from other professionals. If they had just been closed-minded to me or to, other people, my mom, then we might not have found, our best selves and found some happiness because we just weren't doing it their way. So, hope for me, through the creative is that I get to speak in as many ways or express in as many ways. And if somebody has something that they can draw from that helps them to live their life to the fullest, not tap out, and then to do the same for other people, that's a good thing. Those are my trees to leave behind. So I was up watching TV. There was a man on TV. And he was growing like bamboo trees, I want to say. I'm not very familiar with what bamboo does. But he was thinking not for, 2018 to 2000 to 2020. He was thinking 2070, 2090. These trees are my legacy to leave behind, I'm planting trees today for people I will never meet.
Right.
So my wellness today and my ability to express and be self-aware of things that have helped me, it's not that it's a cookie-cut situation, go do what Courtney did. That's exactly the opposite of what I'm saying. I'm going to express myself so you can see that it took some outside of the box thinking. Some rendering yourself not smart in a space to allow what really needs to come up to come up. Gotcha. And my trees to leave behind are my trees to leave to my daughters, right? To my legacy. My trees to leave behind my lyrics, my soul, my rhymes, my cipher, right? And I think about being a person, I couldn't even open my mouth to talk to people. I was selectively muting my voice. I know now I'm a neurodivergent person. And that's another thing we were talking about, going from mental health to, kind of psychoses and things like that. I understand that growing up, when I was being handed things for art, that they were actually kind of probably helping the sister out because I have the tendency to be inattentive or hyperactive. So you want to name that? You can call that ADHD, combined type. Autism is also a diagnosis for me, and sometimes people are like, "Get out of town. You're not doing these things." Oh, but I am, and maybe I'm not doing it to the same extent, right? So when we talk about a spectrum of autism,
So what is that like for you?
for me, I see the world differently, sensory-wise. We were talking earlier, those overhead, what do you call the lights?
Vents? Oh, the lights?
I
know what you're talking about, but the lights in the ceiling?
The hum, the brightness, not my friend. I'm bearing with the lights in here because this is a good outcome that we're working towards.
Right.
But sensory sensitivity, photosensitivity for me, light sensitivity, it becomes kind of like an overload. wanted to kind of look more into, for me, presence. So when you think about your body, you have a sensing of your physical body. So not just your smell, your sight, your sound. It's how you actually feel the rest of the world around you. And so I called it, because it just made sense and I didn't have awareness. I had this fear of heights. That's what I just called it. Just lumped it into a fear of heights. I actually have a sensory difference when it comes to heights. So like when I fly, which I was never gonna fly.
Okay.
I think they say I don't know, Aretha Franklin or somebody never wanted to fly. I have to look it
I
up.
don't like flying that much either. I like driving.
I still look up, I'm like, why are we doing that?
Yeah,
That
like
don't
driving.
make any sense. So, but I want a window seat, because I want to see my, it's your self-perception. I want to see the clouds or the ground, because not seeing that causes me a lot of anxiety. Like to the point of I need those alcoholic beverages on the plane.
Right,
like you
right,
talk about people
right.
scared, like just y'all don't understand. My skin wants to, just kind of, I want to come out of my skin. But make that kind of real time going upstairs. When I was younger, I had a hard time just stepping upstairs because it didn't make sense to my brain what my body was doing to go up flights of stairs. So to mask, because it's like, you don't want to be weird, you don't want to be teased. I am a verbal, I'm a speaking person. So I was able to blend, camouflage, and just be like, oh, I need to tie my shoe. Y'all go ahead. Whereas I really want to grab this wall.
You want to grab to hold on.
To hold on.
To go up the steps.
Because y'all are going up these stairs, and it just, I remember the first time, I hope I ain't break nothing.
No, you good.
Thought I was grabbing the wall. I remember the first time I went to a balcony, I just knew everything was going to tip.
Oh, wow.
And everything was going to fall. Why? So, to say all of that, I'm just at the space in my life now to start unpacking even some of that. Because I was, we already going through a lot of hard stuff. Didn't have time to be that different. Didn't want to be that different. Being bullied, we talk about how, the things that you learn from being bullied. I love how Chris Rock talks about that in one of his comedy skits. But in the sense of you're light skinned, so you're getting teased for being yellow, right? And I'm saying but me. Light skinned, so I'm getting teased for being yellow. From a side of town where people think that, my grandma had money, or, so they thought I was stuck up. I wish I still had the gap in my teeth, because I know now that is a symbol of beauty in African culture.
Right.
But being teased by having big teeth and a gap, I didn't want another thing.
Gap Nation, right?
Gap Nation. I still got it, dog. I could look. It's gonna move. It's gonna
like Gap Nation.
Now I look like my mom. That's a picture of my mom, but she kept her gap.
Oh, okay.
So, and my youngest daughter has her gap. But anyway, so it was just like, people talk about, I don't want a diagnosis because it's another thing. Like in the sense of, it's hard enough for Black people. Then you want to label me as, having a learning difference or disability. No. So we've been toughed into kind of, I've heard other people who are like autistic and ADHD or autistic talk about how we didn't even have the space to just be who we were, because I've heard people say that for them it was beat out of me. Like it was viewed as a disciplinary kind of problem, not this is my brain and this is how I see and experience the world difference. And so for me, similarly, you know, the streets taught me you don't want to be but so different.
Right.
And then you get, you know, I was called weird. I'm still, some of my friends are just like, you're different, right? You're odd. And I'm just like,
And
see me, love me.
Exactly.
You know,
I'm unique.
unique.
One of one.
But I also look at, could I have done some of the things that I've done if I had a different brain?
Right.
Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
My ability to hyper focus on things. You know, like I said, some people take a tool and take things apart. I do that intentionally with, you know, heart matters, with well-being, with, you know, being able to support other people, care for others. So, yeah, maybe we'll talk another time about autism.
Yeah, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
So tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, wow. So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. My moniker is Here Courtney. It's Here Courtney Business. And that's on Instagram. I also have a link tree where you can get this wonderful book
That's right.
that we're going to share.
Get the book.
Share.
Gotta get the book.
You can find me on YouTube.
Okay.
You can find my video for the song that I wrote about menopause.
Okay.
On YouTube. YouTube. It's called Hot Cold. You can also
It's called Hot Cold.
Hot Cold. You can
By
Here Courtney.
By Here Courtney.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's another question we could talk about too. Naming, you know, because like I have the Courtney Chavis and I've got the Here Courtney. I've got the Gone Painting. We'll talk about some of that.
You just gotta send me the link so I can post it on the video.
Okay, I'll do that. And yeah, so the song is Hot Cold. Wherever you stream music, it's there. You just have to put in the name of the song Hot Cold and put in Here Courtney.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'll get some other artists' songs because they come up, you know, kind of
Okay.
more than mine. But it's
Well, that's
there.
cool.
And 90.1, cool experience.
They
First time
played
you
it?
hear your song on the radio. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always the
My
best feeling.
my best friend of the United States, my BOTUS, her dad used to work at WNAA, and I think she called in a favor for me, got my song on there.
Got it played over there? Yeah.
Yeah, but
I know that was a good feeling.
Shout out Smith Eagles. That I know my friends, my people that I graduated from high school with have kind of listened, and yeah, they're giving some more things to leave behind, right? So I have taken that to a place. You actually told me to use United Masters. So got my United Masters done, and so that'll be there into perpetuity, I guess.
Right, get it.
For, yeah, however many streams, however many opportunities.
Gotta promote it. Look, you just gotta promote it.
Yeah.
Just gotta mention it every time you go on live. Get my book, get my music, y'all support me.
My book.
Don't be afraid to promote your stuff.
Yeah, thank
You know?
Thank
Thank you
this
for coming on this.
opportunity.
This show is called The World is Listening.
The world is listening.
Yeah.
So the
this
world is
my
going to
first
hear all this?
This is my first episode.
So if anybody need to fact check anything, y'all, yes, that's all
The
good.
world is listening.
It's your first episode?
Yes.
What?
That's right. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for being the
I'm
first one on the
excited.
show.
Look, you're going to show me how to edit this out so I can be
Right.
like, I like that, don't do that. No, you don't know. Like,
No, because then, you know what people do? They try to cut out the best parts. They be like, I said that? I forgot I said that. Yep, you said it. It's there. Bang.
it's there.
It's there.
No,
Bang.
yeah, no, I'm not that deep.
All right, well, thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all go follow Courtney and what is it? What's the other name she
Here
had?
Courtney.
Here Courtney and
Gone
then
Painted by Courtney.
Gone Painted by Courtney and then Courtney Chavis.
Courtney Chavis.
Right.
Chavis like Davis.
All right, I had a link, so y'all make sure y'all check it out.
Thank you.
Save the Arts TV. Let's go.
Let's go.